Hey guys, it's Megan from Cincinnati Community Chronicles, and today I've got a story from a week ago, I think, some point last week, where a gay minister causes uproar in Clifton. Now, Reverend David Meredith has been a pastor at the Clifton United Methodist Church for 6 years. David then goes and marries his partner of 30 years, Jim, last year. Since that marriage last year, complaints have come into the church. 3 charges were originally filed on Meredith, which were being a self-avowed practicing homosexual, immorality, and disobedience to the order and discipline of the United Methodist Church. But the only charge that was certified was disobedience to the order and disobedience of the church. Now, I got a couple more things to go on with that, so let's talk about them. One of the very first questions I thought of was why, after all of this time of the couple, Jim and David, being together openly gay, 30 years to be exact, did the people of the church start complaining after the marriage? Nobody said anything about it until after they got married. Well, I did more research, and a Methodist minister married Meredith and Jim Schlater in a Methodist church. Now, according to a paragraph, 341.6, of the 2012 Book of Discipline of the United Methodist Church, it states that ceremonies that celebrate homosexual union shall not be conducted by our ministers and shall not be conducted in our churches. The people of the church and the United Methodist Church Committee felt as though David was breaking the laws of the church by openly marrying his 30-year partner, Jim, in a Methodist church and by a Methodist minister. So it makes a little more sense as to why they were upset after the marriage. But still, then it raises another question. Since the rule applies to no Methodist minister conducting homosexual ceremonies, shouldn't the minister who conducted the ceremony be charged? David was charged for it because he got married in a Methodist church, right? Well, there was a Methodist minister that married them. He should get in trouble too. So the 3 charges that were filed onto David were being a self-avowed practicing homosexual, immorality, and disobedience to the order and disobedience of the United Methodist Church, like I said earlier. Now, all 3 of them have a different meaning. I might go into that just a little bit. So, a self-avowed practicing homosexual means that a person openly acknowledges to a bishop or any of those types of practicers that they are a practicing homosexual. If you want a more detailed explanation of the meaning of self-avowed, you can look at the Judicial Council decisions. There's a bunch of them. Just Google them. You'll find a lot to do with them. The charge of immorality is meant to say, it's stated in the Bible, that thou shalt not lie with a man as with a woman. It's an abomination. So basically saying that he's gay, he broke a law in the committee, their thoughts on it. But the only charge that was filed against David that was certified was the charge for disobedience to the order and disobedience to the church. That means that civil disobedience is the intentional act of disobeying a civil law or authority because of a conviction that one has a higher responsibility. For a believer, those higher responsibilities are found in the Bible and nowhere else. So basically, you're breaking the law of a higher authority than the laws on the streets, basically. Religious laws, you're breaking those, and that means you're immoral. So, in my opinion, the minister should not have gotten charged. The only reason I believe that is because the main Christian belief is to love everyone and not hate anybody for their religion or for their race or anything like that. But instead of loving the couple, the church and the United Methodist Committee filed charges against them, which is not any part of the Christian belief whatsoever. You're not supposed to do that. Now, I'm not religious. I don't practice any religion. When you think about other people's religion and then them saying that somebody else is breaking their laws, but they're breaking their own laws, kind of makes you think a little bit. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Megan. This is Cincinnati Community Chronicles, and tune in and check me out later.